Before we begin this story, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Your support means more than you know. It helps us continue sharing real stories, stories that don't just entertain, but touch the heart. This is perhaps one of the most painful and honest stories I have ever come across. A story about love, about betrayal, about regret, and about the high cost of losing what truly mattered. Let's call the man in this story David. David was married for 23 years. 23 years of shared mornings, shared struggles, shared memories. He used to joke with his friends. He would say, almost proudly, "The secret to a happy marriage is discreet affairs." Today, he doesn't laugh when he remembers those words. Not because they were funny, but because they were the stupidest words he ever believed in. David admits that at that time, he was a fool. A fool who believed that excitement outside his marriage could fill the emptiness inside his heart. He once said, "You can read all the advice in the world. People will warn you, plead with you, judge you. But in the end, you do what you want." And I did. Blinded by passion. David didn't want to stop his affair, not even when his wife found out. She begged him, literally begged him to come back. She cried, she pleaded, she fought for the marriage. But David didn't listen. He was caught in the middle of a passionate romance, one that made him feel young again. He said, "I felt alive. I felt desired. I felt like a man again." And he was 50 years old, still chasing a thrill, still blinded by lust, forgetting the life he had spent more than 2 decades building. His father once told him, "A stiff heart has no conscience." And years later, David realized how true that was. Because passion doesn't just excite you, it blinds you. The price of freedom. For a while, David had everything he thought he wanted: freedom, excitement, a new life. He thought he was happy, or at least he told himself he was. But freedom has a price, and soon the bill arrived. David realized that leaving his wife and nearly destroying his family was the most foolish, self-destructive decision of his life. He said, "The cost was far too great. The pain I caused my family was unbearable." He went on, "It wasn't worth it." The fall. David thought he was in control. He thought he could manage the lies, the consequences, the damage. But the truth is, he couldn't. He divorced his wife. He left his home. He left his 2 grown children. He moved in with another woman. From the outside, people said he looked comfortable, fat and happy, as the saying goes. But inside, he was living in an illusion. David said, "Every morning I wake up knowing I deeply hurt a good woman who gave me 23 years of her life." He went on, "I wake up knowing I disappointed my children. I wake up knowing I made the biggest mistake of my life." And that realization, that broke him. Confession to the world. Years later, David shared his story online, not for sympathy, not for attention, but as a warning, a desperate attempt to stop others from making the same mistake. He wrote, "Please, slow down. Think. Don't do what I did." He admitted, "I made the biggest mistake of my life because I was blinded by excitement and the thrill of having an affair." Then, he added two simple words: "How stupid." The darkest moment. When David woke up the next day, thousands of people had read his confession. Some thanked him for his honesty, but others told him to kill himself. Yes, those thoughts crossed his mind. He admitted it, but he stopped himself. He said, "I had already been selfish enough. Ending my life would have only caused more pain to the same people I had already hurt." No fairy tale ending. David never married the woman he cheated with, and when he finally tried to return to his wife, it was too late. She had moved on. But life has a strange way of teaching forgiveness. His children forgave him. They still loved him. And one day, even his ex-wife forgave him too. David said, "Despite everything, I was a good father, and she will tell you, I was a good husband too, if it weren't for the infidelity." Healing, not erasing. Today, both David and his ex-wife are with new partners. They never remarried, but they share something rare: respect, care, and understanding. When their daughter got engaged, they drove together to the celebration, side by side. They laughed, they cried, and for that one day, they were a family again. David said, "We will always love and respect each other. We will always be family." Final message. The warning. David didn't share his story for pity. He shared it as a warning, a message to anyone standing where he once stood. He said, "Please take a breath. Think before you do something you can never undo." Then he said, "The pain you'll cause is not worth it." Closing. We all make mistakes, some small, some life-changing, but the courage to admit them, to accept the pain, and to grow, that's what defines us. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. It helps more people hear real human stories that remind us how fragile love and life really are. Thank you for listening. And remember, forgiveness may not fix everything, but it can help us live again.